Okay. There we are. Let's see, what even is this? It's hard to believe this magical scenery was made by the hands of man. Magical scenery? The Tomabetsu City outer underground discharge channel. Okay, so that project, alright. It's also called the Underground Shrine, a giant super precious cistern. It collects the rainwater that drains into it through an underground tunnel network, then opens up into a nearby river. Water is the source of life, but can sometimes cause terrible disasters. It was fear, the fear of flooding, that brought the people who constructed this together. Hey, Bancho, hi. I should be braced for it? Is that what I should take from your comment? Okay. They pooled their intelligence to make this disaster prevention facility. I see what they did there. They pooled. I see the translation choice. It was also Usami Yoshinori's lifelong desire. Pool, yes. Father, soon, I swear. Soon I too will hear air. The G-string of a celestial violin will be passed from one generation to the next. I'll save you, Father, soon. The heck does that mean? Okay. I went to the police forensics lab. It was a tiny, cramped room. One corpse lay strewn out. The glossy white sheet stood out among the dull, dim darkness. Oh my god. Yes, it was definitely my mother. Oh my god. I somehow managed to squeak that the thing before me with the strangely disfigured head and body was indeed Mom. Oh lord, this is hard. Hey Bea, hi. The policeman sighed, then said, now we can finally do an autopsy. My beautiful mother, the woman who hugged me tightly as I shook from the cold. The woman who gave her body and soul to protect me from that monstrous man. Her head was caved in. Oh, this is terrible. Yet it was definitely Mom. Despite recuperating at home after a diagnosis of severe clinical depression, she apparently suddenly gathered her things and dashed outside at 7 p.m. the day of the accident. They found a plane ticket to Tokyo's Haneda airport on her person. It seems she planned to take the red eye to Tokyo. The accident occurred as she tried to get on the bus to the airport and crossed the intersection. Apparently, the crosswalk light was green. Nevertheless, a car smashed into her at 75 miles per hour. Oh, gosh. Ay, that's terrible. I also have this, like, I'm super paranoid when crossing the street. I double, triple check, even if the light is green. I've had some very close experiences that also confirm that my way of doing it is absolutely right. And just the other day there was like just a weird situation where we were crossing coming from the supermarket, and we had two lines of cars stopped because we were crossing, and there was another car that was coming, like, I don't know, they thought they were smart and they were coming on the tram line, right, which would be like a third lane, I suppose, which you could use when the tram is not passing. And they were just like speeding and then like stopped very abruptly with the you know, that kind of like weird sound when you when you brake all of a sudden. And we had stopped before because we'd seen the guy and he didn't like look trustworthy. And it was fine, we crossed, but like, what was he thinking? I don't know. Some people are like that. Look left, right, up, down, all cardinal directions. Well, look in the direction that the cars are coming from, but yeah. So yeah, people are like that. I don't understand what his rationale was. Like, oh, people are crossing, I should speed, even though everyone else is stopped. This is like, what? Anyway. The driver, a young man, tried to get away, but a nearby patrol car chased and ultimately apprehended him. Oh! That's very nice and efficient for the Japanese. Good on them. A quick inspection revealed that he had been drinking. There it is. I wonder how Usami and Tokita fared in their own escape. What punishment awaits me now that I've betrayed Gonzo? I just don't care anymore. One of the items found among my mother's belongings was a handmade scarf. Oh no, was it for you? I clutch it tightly as I stare at the floor of my dark, lonely room. Someone, please answer just one question. What sin did my mother commit to lead her to her death? She had planned to come surprise me with a visit. I should have gone to Sapporo to pick her up. Years ago. I should have gone to live with her, even if it meant leaving Gonzo's side. Yet I continued to follow Gonzo, determined to make a name for myself in the underworld. What a childish dream. Wasn't my goal all along to take care of my ailing mother? I treated it as my one and only shining, albeit tiny, hope. Poor mom. Her husband was a murderer. She was so deep in debt that she fell mentally ill, and to top it all off, she died an unfair, untimely death by vehicular manslaughter. Where is the justice in this goddamn world? Angels do not exist. How could they? If they did, I would have a firmer grip on my sanity. I wouldn't be grasping at my burning hatred to protect my humanity. The only things keeping me from losing my mind are the finely detailed visions of myself killing the driver who murdered my mother. A headache tears at my skull, but right now I almost feel blessed with this pain, this pleasure, this punishment, this retribution from God upon a pathetic boy who couldn't save his mother. I vaguely see a light at the end of the tunnel. I might be able to reach it if I lend myself to this headache. I couldn't hold back my laughter. I felt refreshed, as if the seeds I had planted that failed to sprout had actually only waited for the opportune moment and were now reaching for the sun. Maou, huh? I think back on all the incomprehensible events of this past winter. The ransom stolen from Tsubaki's family. The attempt on Azai Gonzo's life via car bombing. Thinking about it now, there was something I didn't like about Tsubaki. And it was Gonzo that kept me from seeing my mother. I had plenty enough motives. And zero alibis, actually. All of the action occurred while I wasn't feeling well. Ooh, is he putting it together? My memory of those events is too hazy to interpret. Oh yes, and let's not forget Dr. Akimoto's enthusiastic, romantic diagnosis. The suspicious looks from Usami and Gonzo. I thought it was impossible before, but now I want to believe it. No, I'm ready to believe it. After all, what is truly impossible? Surely it was impossible for my mother to be killed in an accident. Preposterous things happen every goddamn day. So maybe I really am Maou. The echo of the intercom's chime suddenly rings throughout the room. I thought it was one of Gonzo's cronies, but it was an unexpected person. I was about to say, is it Haru? It was Usami, still on the run from the Soa Alliance. I let Usami in. She was aghast at the change in me. After all, I haven't bathed in several days. This isn't exactly the best place to hide from the Yakuza.
はい、それは分かっているんですの。
But what? My heart throbs in pain. I had always held a certain suspicion toward Usami. It was related to the events surrounding my biological father, events I never cared to talk about.
ニュースで事故のことを聞きまして。
What do you care if my mother is dead?
それは。
She mumbled. She seems to be pitying me. I decided to ask on a whim. Are you Usami Yoshinori's daughter? Oof. She stopped breathing. I see. I almost wanted to laugh. That's why you've been following me around all this time. Did you want to apologize in your father's stead? Or did you come to avenge his murder? Wow, I didn't expect us to jump immediately into a scene like this. Like, okay. My heart is beating out of my chest almost. Usami's sobs drizzled out into the room, and their echoes diffused through the darkness. It was unpleasant. Why are you crying? Disgusting to the bitter end. Shut up. But Usami didn't even try to wipe her tears. What?
今、ユキと水葉はユキの自宅にいます。警察の感謝です。そこなら、ゴンゾーさんの手のものも寄りつけないと思いまして。
I see. That sounds like a reasonable enough plan. I guess that's why Gonzo hasn't made his move yet. But that still doesn't explain why you're here.
ですから、浅井さんに会いたくなって。
You wanted to see me? Why would you want to see a murderer's son? Usami's always been a strange woman. I hear the sound of ruffling clothing. Okay. The victim's daughter suddenly started taking her clothes off. Okay, what the heck? Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers here that we're gonna be okay. Oh, the beast's daughter is a prostitute. It felt like someone had squeezed my heart. Okay. That was the worst confession ever. Hilarious. What was happening in my room was far from an expression of pure love. It was little more than an insult. An insult that defiled me and disgraced her. It was only right that she shook all over. You've always loved me, you say. I have half a mind to kill you on the spot, you know that. There's no way we could ever be together. Do you even know what your father did to mine? Huh? Say it. Yeah, sure. Logically, you're right. If I were a fucking machine, then we could do whatever you want. But how do you expect me to fucking look you in the eye and accept you while I think about the humiliation my father went through? Usami looked like she was about to fall to her knees, crying. Nevertheless, she diligently held her reddened eyes fixed on me. She seemed to be devoting her all to this confrontation. Okay, what does she mean by always, always? Didn't they just meet, or is there like more to that? I mean, not just, you know, right now, but like when she came to this town. I can see that her feelings are true. The woman in front of me was an Usami I did not know. A woman hopelessly in love. Okay, so 10 years ago. Okay, so there's more to that.
あなただけを思って、あなただけが忘れられなくて。
10 years ago? I think back. Aww. Okay, they seeing tiny versions of characters really like tugs at my heartstrings. I can't really resist it much. Also, what the heck is he doing? Is he reading a book like on the very edge of a roof of a tall building? Is that what I'm seeing? Isn't that dangerous? Tiny people, yeah. I see a hazy scene, one I don't remember very well. It came as a flash, tearing through the darkness of my memory like a faint twinkle of lightning. But it left as quickly as it came, and the abyss of hatred was quick to cover my world once again. I see. So you came to comfort me.
すみません。浅井さんは同情なんて大嫌いだと思いましたが、それでも何か力になれればと。
Because?
好きだからです。
Oh, this feels so forced in some way to me. I don't know what to think. How pushy. Pretty damn unsightly, if you ask me. In what way is this girl a hero? She's goddamn demon spawn. Alright, take your clothes off. I think we've covered that part. Let's... Oh god, oh lord. I'm glad I'm hiding in the shadows tonight. I wouldn't want to show my face. The hands on her panties were clearly shaking. Alright. Okay. Should I change the age thing on the on the stream? I don't feel very comfortable right now. Image-wise, we're fine, but the text, like, okay, maybe you can read this line yourselves. God. Not for lust after Usami's luscious body. For lust after violating the only child of the monster who ripped apart my family and drove my father to murder. What an incredibly tempting offer. It should be plenty to wash away my father's humiliation. For some reason, tears pour from my eyes. Tears of blood gifted to me by my father, I tell myself. I consider the scene before me for a minute. I see a woman crying with her legs spread wildly and a man shedding tears into the... Yeah, okay. Why? Why are you doing this to me, text? Leave me alone. It was a painting of hell by the devil himself. It was at that moment that Usami muttered that name of all names. What name? Get out of my sight, Usami. Her reaction was just to cry like a child. This is my very last sliver of goodwill towards you. Next time I see you, I'll do more than rape you. Oh, wow. Fabulous. Fabulous. She trembled as she hurriedly dressed. I don't ever want to see your face again. Next time, I'll kill her without a second thought. I'm barely able to hold back my urge to torture her to death as is. However, Usami said my dead sister's name. Ah, okay. Kiyomi, okay. She said, Kiyomi-chan, I'm sorry, and truly put all her heart into the apology. Usami dashes off into the room's darkness, tumbles around a bit, and leaves in a run. Absolute silence reigns after her departure. My ears ring and my headache threatens to break my will. And right at this very moment, I can feel Maou awakening inside me. We made it through, yes. It's morning. Hopefully that means we're not gonna go through stuff like that anymore. Now, what a refreshing morning. Exactly 1 week has passed since Tokita's hostage case. At the moment, I'm wondering what I should do now. I hear something at the door. The door opens. Several feet shod in expensive leather send sharp noises through the room. Why, hello there, Horibe-san. I casually greeted the few Yakuza who've clearly come for my blood. Oh no, don't worry about it. What business do you have with me? A cruel smile surfaced on Horibe's face. Oh? He told you to kill me? Huh. Do you agree with him? What do you mean? Oh, that. You know how crowded it was. There was nothing I could do. I was desperately trying to contact you too. Oof. He spoke gleefully. I grinned. Ah, Someya-san, huh? The corners of Horibe's mouth twisted as well, as if responding to me. Don't know, I don't remember. The next moment I was staring down a gun barrel. He pressed me for an answer. He intends to kill me on the spot. Apology? He's completely right. Thanks to Gonzo adopting me, my life has been hell. How do I get out of this one? There are 3 other burly men here to back Horibe up. They've got the only door blocked off. Jumping out the window wouldn't be such a good idea. This is the 16th floor, which leaves... Nothing. Oh lord. Of course not. Only a fool would use violence against professional employers of violence. Still, these are nothing more than Gonzo's dogs. Livestock. Slaves to money. I stare down Horibe as he points his gun at me. Did he come here dead set on killing me, or is there some room for negotiation? Does he really intend on pulling the trigger, or is it just a threat? Alright. Well, Horibe-san, let me ask just one thing. Horibe narrows his eyes. Did father just order you to kill me? While keeping my eyes on the barrel of the gun, I point to my safe. Contained within is the money I was saving to pay off my father's debt and provide for my mother's future. The small fortune is worth no more to me now than any old scraps of paper. As I expected, the slave to money took the bait. Oh, you will? That's rather troubling. There's over 50 million in there, you see. Horibe waved the gun in the direction of the safe, as if he were sure of his victory. Very well. I walked to the safe, slowly dialed the combination, and opened the door. They must have been dazzled by the glow of the gold inside. Thank you. I turn around to face Horibe and his joyous smile. The man looked like a child about to torture a bug.
で、そいつでこの場を見逃してもらおうっていう腹でしょ
Indeed. How about it?
ダメですわ。
Horibe's face closed in on me, his anger so intense that it made his blood vessels protrude from his head. Oh, God.
往生際が悪いんだよ、このガキ。
I suddenly thought of that scary Gonzo sprite. It also has like some blood vessels like popping. Anyway. Looking at him up close emphasizes how frightening the man really is. Did I really once command this bunch? I decided to speak up and end this charade. I see. I wholeheartedly apologize for my rudeness. However, this is my win. You made me open the safe at gunpoint. Do you understand what this means? This is theft? I don't know. If you had just shot and killed me earlier, it would have been simple murder. But killing me after making me open my safe is murder with intent to rob, whether you take the money or not. Okay. Horibe's clean-shaven eyebrows jumped up. Understood? You know what happens to people in your situation. A life sentence, or if you're unlucky, the death penalty. Is it though? I have no idea. I don't know Japanese laws in any way. Horibe's glance slowly dropped to the ground. You're a genuine yakuza, right, Horibe-san? Being put in jail for murder for your boss's sake is no big deal, but if you dishonor yourself with the title of a thief, even if you get out of jail, there will be no place in the Soa Alliance for you. Now, think hard. Will you throw your life away for a kid like me? A calculating man like Horibe should know what to do. It would have been a different situation if this were deep in the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, and someone other than Horibe was pointing a gun at me. How about this? By the time you got here, I was already gone. Horibe clicked his tongue and put on his usual yakuza smile. I mean, you're dead. I'm sorry about that. The last thing he said was exactly what I'd expect of Horibe. This will be the last time we meet. I received a call as I was out walking. Yo, Tsubaki, what's up? How do you answer that? Yeah, I feel great. School, huh? Now that's nostalgic. Oh, maybe it's the cold weather getting to everybody. Who knows? I don't anyway. I've been busy with work. Or should I say play? I suppose that means the call is drawing to a close. Wait, Tsubaki. How's your family doing? Are you getting along alright? I'm so sorry about that thing last year. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Later. Tsubaki cheerfully said bye-bye before hanging up. One big happy family, huh? Having a family is enough happiness on its own. There's no need to complicate that. You can always make more money. Now, what to do? Oh, right. I should probably deal with Azai Gonzo. He should have just died from that car bomb. Alright. Let's go kill him. Okay, so casually. But before that, there's still one thing that's bothering me. That memory. It's the only thing holding me back. Usami said she met me 10 years ago. Was that memory? Was it on the rooftop of the Sano Corporation's headquarters? Did I really meet Usami as a kid? I need to find out. Revenge can wait for now. I head for the Sano Corporation building. The night wears on, and now it's time to act. I finish my preparations and leave Sano's headquarters. Samejima Kyosuke and Usami Haru met as children. They socialized in their own clumsy way and formed a friendship completely ignorant of what was transpiring between their parents. What a hilarious story. An old friend holding an unrequited love for an outrageous amount of time. And then a 10-year reunion. Your love could never have been answered, Usami. For you to seek normal happiness like that is impertinent. Oof. Big words. Now, father doesn't have much time left. There's one man I must kill before executing my final plan. I love the choice of words. One man I must kill before executing my final plan. I see what you did there, Mr. Translator. I take my cell phone in hand to call him. I throw my personal feelings to the wind as I listen to the ringing of the line. Be thankful I let you live for so long. The call connects and I speak up. It's been a while. Do you think that kind of greeting is suitable for this situation? Okay. Usami Haru, alone, rushed to Azai Gonzo's mansion. After being rejected by the man she loved, she held no more hope. She decided to take the opportunity to drown herself in her chase for Maou, her mother's killer. If only you knew, girl. Oh, you sweet summer child. Azai Gonzo stared at his sudden visitor. Haru was prepared to be killed by Gonzo for allowing Yuki, a comrade of Maou, to escape.
ユキから聞き出した魔王の情報は全てお話しします。ですから、ユキに手を出さないでいただけませんか?
She knew there was no way to live in this city with Azai Gonzo as an enemy. Take one step outside the safe zone Yuki and Mizuha had holed themselves up in, and Gonzo's men would be waiting. As if they knew their prey would give in eventually, the Yakuza continued their surveillance of the Tokita household.
ユキが許されるのであれば、私はどうされても構いません。
She spoke without reverence and stared challengingly into Gonzo's eyes. Flattery wouldn't work on this beast of a man anyway. Defending herself in even the slightest would prevent him from taking her seriously. She was prepared to bear her vitals, her stomach, her jugular, any number of vulnerable spots to show she wasn't afraid of the beast. Gonzo's interests seemed to be somewhere else.
もはや必要ない。
と、
お前も知っての通り、京介こそが魔王だ。
Haru doubted her ears.
京介は精神科医にかかっている。話を聞いたところ、奴はどうやら心因性健忘症という病にかかっているようだ。
それはどういう？
脳の組織に異常が生じ、突然過去の記憶がなくなったり、部分的に空白になる非常に珍しい疾患だ。
そんな、それは何が原因で？
ストレスの積み重ねだ。そして、ストレスがあっても外に出せず、感情を押し殺すようなタイプに起こりうるという。
A lump rose in Haru's throat. She could tell Kyosuke had a brutal past. She could also tell that he didn't have a single friend who understood the man behind the cheerful mask he wore at school.
浅井さんは、京介君は魔王じゃありません。
She muttered as if speaking to herself. Haru may outwardly say she suspects Kyosuke, but inside, she trusts him to an almost idiotic extent. However, she didn't have any proof to present to Gonzo. She had no way of convincing him that Kyosuke was not the one who had taken the Miwa family's ransom and blown up his car.
お前は過去において京介と接点があった。
よくご存知で。
The beast's eyes shot open.
ついていたか、
はい、
京介は。
あの時は。
そうか。
Haru suddenly felt that the intimidation oozing from Gonzo's every pore had stopped flowing altogether.
そうか。
Haru, helpless, could do nothing but wait for Gonzo's inevitable judgment of Kyosuke.
いけれども、いけれども、道は氷がなり。人のせいに四季はなく、ただ冬の荒野があるのみ。流れ出た血と涙は拭わずともいずれ凍りつく。
Haru couldn't tell if he was speaking about Kyosuke or himself. A voice called from the next room. Gonzo answered, and a man in black suit appeared carrying a cordless phone. He left again without saying a word. Gonzo took the phone, then kept silent for a bit. Haru had no idea who the caller was or what the call was about.
京介よ。
Gonzo finally spoke up in a threatening voice.
のこのこと現れれば死ぬぞ。
That seemed to be the end of the conversation. Immediately after that, Gonzo stood up. He seemed to almost forget about Haru's existence.
あの、
Gonzo hid a gun in his pocket, then walked outside with a haughty gait. The beast was going hunting. There was nothing Haru could do to stop him. Looks like the fish bit at my bait. 2 Mercedes-Benzes rushed along the dark harbor. Muscle jumped out of the cars when they stopped. Gonzo has 6 guards with him. He must be underestimating me. Most likely, they're not carrying anything bigger than pea shooters. Furthermore, I wonder how many of these 6 have actually killed someone. They may be Yakuza, but there aren't many Yakuza who spend days out in secluded mountains practicing with loaded firearms and live ammunition. The only problem is, our man Azai Gonzo is refusing to come out of his vehicle. One with heavy tinting, I might add. Thus, I can't paint Gonzo's vitals with my scope's crosshair. Still, there ought to be plenty of chances. These men, who are used to living in a peaceful country like Japan, would never dream they're being targeted by a rifle on a rundown building 200 yards away. My sniping isn't something to brag about, but I have an excellent scope helping me. An expert engineer adjusted the focus for me, so even if my aim is a little shaky, I shouldn't miss my target. I grip the rifle and the smell of oil from the gun reaches my nose. I monitor the situation through my scope. I was right to have chosen the wharf as my hunting grounds. It's a wide expanse with practically no cover. A large man reminiscent of a bodyguard turns to talk to the back seat of one of the cars. "Boss, we can't find him." His throaty voice echoes through the silent night. Azai Gonzo is definitely here. He's being careful having his subordinates search the area. Now, how to smoke him out of the car? I stick a rod covered with a soft cloth into the barrel of the gun. I finish up the cleaning, then put 5 rounds of ammunition into the chamber. The bullets are tipped with ceramic, designed to pierce through most bulletproof vests. I take out the hand towel I had stashed in the instrument case I transported the rifle in. I intend to use it to quickly gather up the shells after the fact. I wrap the weapon's sling around my left arm, then fix my elbow firmly to the ground. Making sure to support the gun with my bones and not strength, I put my cheek and right hand up on the stock. My preparations are about finished. The ocean is quiet and there isn't much wind. I took into consideration the humidity and air currents between buildings also, but I couldn't find anything that might upset any shots I fire. All that's left to do is find Gonzo and aim at him. I took aim at the Mercedes-Benz Gonzo would be coming out of. I then heard the sound of a car engine and checked the situation through the lens again. A taxi had pulled up. It stopped by the side of Gonzo's vehicle for a moment, then quickly drove away. I snicker when I see who had stepped out. I adjusted my sights to take into account the crosswind. Taking into mind the effect of gravity, I moved the crosshair slightly upwards. Oh no. Now come out, Gonzo. I'll take you down in one blow. But for some reason, I can't keep my cool. It's not excitement for the conclusion of my hunt. And it's certainly not pity for the beast who ruined my mother. Then, as if sensing the disturbance in my heart, Asahi Gonzo jumped out of the car at the exact right moment. With the agile movements of a wild animal, he ran with his body low to the ground. Oh, okay. He roared. Of all places, he was looking straight at me, as if he knew he was being targeted by a rifle. As if he predicted I'd use this position to snipe him. Why? It's conceivable that he'd be cautious of a sniper. That's why he didn't come out of the car. But why? Before I could think, a will to put down the beast took over me. Asahi Gonzo's huge body was dead center in my sights. He arrogantly looked up at me. Now, do it. The beast came to be killed. I aimed the crosshair at his chest. I steady my breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. I keep my eyes pried open. My eyelids are frozen in place. I take aim, put my finger to the trigger, and squeeze ever so slightly. The rifle fires. The sound of the gunshot echoes throughout the docks, and Gonzo's huge body shakes. The bullet went in just below the lung. I missed his heart, but it's a fatal wound. I put a little bit of gunpowder in the bullets, so right now the beast's insides must be... What? Yeah, I was about to say, likely none of this is actually what's happening, but I'm not sure.
Maou!
How is he still standing?
未だ人のうちに残っている動物的な性質にこそ起源がある。
Okay. His knees didn't even falter and his face is filled with violent excitement. His bloodshot eyes seemed capable of leaping from their sockets at any second.
復讐に救いを求め、救いに悪をなさんとする貴様は、遠からず己が悪行の脆さを知るだろう。
It was like the standing death of Benkei. My body shrank back at the final roar of a beast on the verge of death. The very next moment, Asahi Gonzo's mouth vomited a veritable bloodstorm. He was smiling. Oh, so he was hit in the end. I'm so confused. Asahi Gonzo spends his final moments bellowing in laughter, spewing from his lungs a sea of blood. And despite seeming to drown in it, he continues laughing. The rifle shakes, pounding against my ear. No, it's my arm shaking. For some reason, I was trapped in a nightmare that the beast 200 yards away was devouring my intestines. Okay. Calm down. I killed him. Asahi Gonzo is dead, there's no doubt about that. Right, there's nothing to panic about. His last screams were nothing but the howling of a dying dog. Laughter? Humbug. That was nothing more than the convulsions of a hyena who failed to kill his prey. No matter how cool I try to play, my violently beating heart betrays my desire to flee. Did he just demonstrate the difference between us animals? When I looked into the scope again, I was overcome with fear. There's no one there? The wolves, now without an alpha male, had dispersed without a hint of disturbance. They merely rushed to the nearest cover and redirected their attention. The only thing in view was Gonzo's body lying on the ground. This is bad. I missed my chance to take out the rest of my targets, and underestimated them. I thought Japan's Yakuza were a bunch of dunces, more bark than bite. Without uttering a word about their boss's death, they came straight for me. An army that keeps moving even after losing its commander, eh? If they're truly this competent, then it's highly probable that one of them noted the flash from my rifle. In other words, I should assume they know where I am. I quickly pack away the rifle and prepare to withdraw. I dash down the emergency staircase of the rundown building. I'm careful to move as quietly as I can without sacrificing speed. I leave the building and the harbor, then hide in the shadows of a warehouse. I manage to escape by a hair's breadth. The men infiltrated the decrepit building I had just been at in groups of 2, covering each other's blind spots. Their cooperation was reminiscent of the Special Forces' buddy system. In all the battlefields I've been in, I've never felt so alive. It was a narrow victory. Now, in all honesty, I have no idea how I was able to take down Gonzo. Why did he leave the safety of the car and put himself in danger? Yeah, this is also what I was asking myself. Why would he allow himself to be shot on purpose? Just to give away his position? I don't think he would, like, sacrifice himself for that. Necessarily. There has to be something more to it than that. I don't really believe he's dead, but okay. I can't figure it out. Nevertheless, it seems the devil has smiled upon me today. I tasted my revenge against the beast that drove my mother to the grave. I should be content with this. Farewell, Azai Gonzo. Now, Usami, you're next. When I went to return the rifle in its instrument case, I noticed something upsetting. There were footsteps attempting to match mine from a street corner behind me. I'm being followed? Is it the Sonoyama group? They're sure fast to react. To verify that I'm being followed, I keep turning corners until I return to my starting point. Was it my imagination? There was no sign of a tailor. In any case, Sonoyama men wouldn't bother to tail me. They'd just strike the moment they spotted me. But they might be keeping an eye on me as they gather reinforcements for a surer victory. I should leave this place. I head straight for the Eastern District. The night isn't over yet. In fact, it's barely past 12. I had just left elementary school. I was on my way to meet my dad, Samejima Toshikatsu, at his workplace. Okay, so we're in the past now. Naturally, there was no way he had the time to play around with me during work. Thus, I figured I'd sneak up to the incredibly high rooftop to satisfy a bit of my childish curiosity. The tower was a skyscraper, a full 50 floors from the street. The view from the roof was perfect. The wide, golden sky seemed to envelop me as it wrapped around the earth. It was gently spotted with shadowy clouds. As I was staring at the scenery, the sun set behind the snow-tipped mountains. Even as a child, I was moved by the beautiful sky before my eyes, until I noticed her on the other side of the fence. What are you doing? Also, who's this person behind him? I keep wondering, like, what? She was sitting at the edge of the roof, her legs dangling over the distant side. Ah, that's... Wait. Ah, okay, now that we see colors. Maybe this is him? And that's her? Okay. Alright. Alright. Hey, aren't you scared? She didn't answer. She was reading a thick book. Naturally, the wind was strong up here, and the pages blew around incessantly. Are you reading a book? Aww. Cute voice. I thought she was strange, but that just made me even more interested in her. Why are you reading in a dangerous place like that? She spoke sullenly. You aren't scared. If you fall, you're gonna die. Okay. Who thinks things through to that degree? That's... Wow, okay, okay, Haru. She turns the page of her book while talking. You're pretty weird.
私はあなたたちとは違うの。あなたたちみたいに世間とつながっていないと孤独に発狂してしまうような連中とは違うの。
She talked about difficult, abstract concepts so fluently. Are you a girl? Her short hair made her look like a boy. Yeah, I really thought it was him then in the memory, especially since you were seeing it like in sepia tones and stuff, so we can discern colors. But yeah, okay, very interesting.
悪い？
No.
なんで？
Huh?
どうして悪くないと思ったの？女の子なら普通髪は長いでしょ？
Did
常
she
識を逸脱してるじゃない。
did she go ahead and like overly grow her hair to compensate for this? Oh jeez. I didn't really get what she was talking about, but I replied anyway. I like girls with long hair. There it is. This is slightly reminiscent of something, isn't it?
ふーん。って、そんなこと聞いてないわよ。
Well, it's not like it matters, right? There's nothing wrong with having short hair. I laugh and she sulks.
あなたこそ何してるの？
Oh. Oh, that's cute. That's so cute. I'm waiting on my
お
dad.
父さんはここで働いてるんだ。
Huh. How did you
あ
know?
なたみたいな子供が一人でこの商社のビルに入ってこれるわけないでしょ？
You're a kid
そう
too.
ね。
Oh wait, does that mean your dad works here too?
だったら何？
Let's play. I'm bored.
私は暇じゃない。本を読んでる。
What are you reading? Let me see. I think I remember seeing Crime and Punishment written on the cover. Oh, okay. That is heavy reading for a child. What?
人は人を殺してもいいのか？悪とは何か？興味ある？
Nah.
じゃあ向こう行ってて。
What's your name?
Huh?
Your name? There was a strange
勇
pause.
者。
What?
勇者。
What? Hero?
田中。
Tanaka Hero? What kind of name is that?
勇者じゃダメなの？
Well, nothing, but if you're a hero, you're strong, right?
もちろん。
Can you use magic?
グーテンタック。
What's that supposed to mean? Wow, awesome.
グーテンモルゲン。
Okay.
ラ
Whoa.
ンランド
What kind of magic is
ゥ。
that?
私もわからない。
I did not know we should learn German to use magic. Interesting. You're weird.
さあ、帰ろうかな。
I remembered my first encounter with the young hero on the Sano roof clearly. Yeah, you're right. They do have some stuff in Germany. I really must have some sort of mental illness to lock away such an important memory. Now, Usami's next. Before the high from spilling Gonzo's blood had subsided, I made my way to the Eastern District. I had decided upon a grave for Usami Yoshinori's daughter long ago. Really now, Usami should have heard about me from Tokita Yuki. I've told Tokita quite a bit about my activities. I've told her about the underground channel, and about my connections to foreign nations. I even let her stay at one of my lairs once. All the information I gave her knowing she may betray me. Thus, I'm not concerned about Tokita's information hindering my plans. But it could make Usami's gambits less predictable. In any case, ensuring that you're guiding your opponent's moves is Battle Strategy 101, the very fundamentals of combat. I'd say this calls for another game of tag. I wonder if that cell phone I gave Usami has any minutes left on it. I try calling her. She quickly picks up. Is that how it works? Wouldn't minutes be things that the user of the phone would need in order to call somebody? Because, like, it doesn't cost... Like, it shouldn't cost you to be called by someone else, but... Okay, maybe it works differently at that moment in time. Usami moans. The media must be having a blast with it by now. The whole city will erupt in pandemonium. The death of the Sonoyama Group boss, the most powerful member of the Soa Alliance, is a hefty trigger. The scales of power in the underground will be completely upset. The Azai Corporation front will fall also. How's Tokita Yuki doing? Will she be handing herself over to the police? Trespassing, attempted murder. She has quite a laundry list of crimes by now. If Tokita Yuki is arrested, it would reverberate to the Special Investigations Unit of the police. Her father, Tokita Akihiro, is said to be a brilliant man. If I can, I'd rather like to avoid doing battle with him. Usami simply ignored my provocations, though. I want to meet you. Usami's breath halts. You know the park in the Eastern District, near Tsubaki's old house? There's a levee nearby that leads to a drainage channel. We can't just walk in nonchalantly. They don't allow visitors in the outer underground discharge channel at this time, you see. Plenty. The structure takes in water from all the surrounding prefectures. There it is. Didn't your father ever tell you about it? Usami didn't answer. There's a tunnel entrance a little over 200 yards west of the drainage channel. The fence is usually locked, but I'll open it as a service to you. Okay. And don't worry about the water. The channel's empty at the moment. Inside the tunnel is warmer than outside. What's she acting so cool about? This will be the final battle. Your final battle, that is. I'll choke you to death, just as my father did to yours. Oh, wow, amazing. Is that how it happened? Choking to death? Oh, jeez. Oh, new music. She called herself Hero. She hadn't done so for any reason in particular. She just saw the word hero on the page in front of her. Then she felt like saying it. She didn't have any interest in the boy. She put her hand in her shorts pocket. Inside was a small pocket watch. It was a favorite of hers. After all, it had cute little penguins on it. Aww. They make pocket watches with penguins on them? That's cute. Clutching her pocket watch, she stood up. Hey, wait. A strong wind pushed its way toward her. With tremendous force, it crawled up the building. It slung across her ankle and yanked her foot away from its solid grip. Oh no. As she lost her balance, she finally, and for the first time, looked at the boy's face. Watch out! The boy reached out his hand. His desperate face neared her. He moaned. He struggled. He writhed. The light from the evening sky twinkled on her pocket watch. I'm going to fall, she thought. She was on the verge of death, yet she was calm. She merely had to pull out the trash bag and get in it before hitting the ground. I'm sorry. That's just... What? How do you come up with this? I don't know. The boy's breath tickled her ear as if to spite the din of the rushing wind. Her vision was filled with an expanse of glowing orange sky. At some point, she had come to rest in his arms. He held her, as if to protect her. She could feel his warmth. She was more embarrassed than scared. I said it was dangerous, didn't I, you stupid idiot? She felt his breath on her again. She finally understood that she'd been saved. She muttered and searched her pockets. Of course, it wasn't there. It fell. You should be happy you didn't fall. The boy seemed to be angry. He let go of the girl and pouted. The girl went to the edge of the roof again. She looked down as if trying to find it. Oh my god. Oh. I have issues with heights, so this like gives me mad anxiety. Not just the fact that she almost slipped, but the fact that now she on purpose went back to the edge and is looking down. Yes, exactly. Please leave the edge. And a 50-story building. Oh my god. Okay. I'm okay. I'm here. I'm at my desk. I'm sitting on my chair. I'm not looking down from a 50-story building. It's just, I don't know why it's so visceral to me. Of course, it would have been impossible for her to spot a pocket watch from 50 stories up. Was it important to you? Are you sure? The girl turned to face the boy. She hung her head as she spoke. Don't say such sad things. She didn't mean to say sad things. She just hung her head. Had the evening sun betrayed the feelings within her? Alright, I'll find it for you. Wait right here. The boy turned around. She didn't understand. She had never asked him to find it for her. I said I gave up, but the girl couldn't spit out the words she had gathered up to stop the boy. Sorry about that. Darkness fell. She stood there in a daze. It was probably about time for her violin practice. She waited. It got darker and artificial lights took the place of the burning red sky on the rooftop. Not a single star was in sight. The wind that had nearly robbed her of her life had brought thick clouds along with it. It was cold. She waited. The roof door was thrown open. Someone shouted happily. A shadow dashed toward her. Another voice shouted, even happier than the first. The girl vaguely realized that the second voice had been hers. The pocket watch was fine. There were a few small chips on it, but the smallest needle kept ticking away, second by second. It was a miracle, almost like magic, the boy said. The hero's magic. Oh. A warm fire burned in her childish mind. To her, the boy was the hero. She stared at the boy. He looked back at her with a gentle expression. She wanted to give him her thanks right away, but her rebellious heart wouldn't allow it. She couldn't help but feel embarrassed as he stared at her. Snow. The boy opened his arms wide and looked up at the black sky. He had looked away from her. This was her chance. She could say it now. Her heart had been aching holding it in. Aren't you cold? Want to wear my coat? His eyes met hers again. His thoughtfulness warmed her heart, but her shyness returned with a vengeance. Her lips suddenly started moving. She couldn't stop them. She realized she was growing flustered. She was usually more calm and able to speak logically. She was always ignored by the other kids her age. Thus, she decided to ignore them too. She had once read the phrase lone wolf in a book. She decided that being a lone wolf was her goal. She apologized, choking back her tears. The emotional little girl in her finally surfaced. Hold it in, the girl said to herself. She'll just be dragged halfway across the world again. She won't be able to stay with the boy. Stay a lone wolf, stay a lone wolf.
さよなら、もう帰る。
Oh, she ran away. Her conscience ate at her. As she ran off, the boy shouted his name. I'm Kyosuke. We'll see each other again, right, hero? The girl didn't answer. Her legs just stopped moving. In a way, though, that was her answer. Kyosuke-kun. She said his name over and over in her mind. The snow covering Tomanbetsu City had piled high. In stark contrast, the snow covering the girl's heart was primed, prepared to be thawed. She arrived at the meeting place Maou had mentioned and found a tunnel just under a gently sloped levee. She opened the broken gate, passed through a dim tunnel, and finally reached the underground channel. It was a monstrous, wide cavern. Supposedly the room could hold floodwater from the entire metropolitan area in case of a disaster. Haru thought of her father, Usami Yoshinori. She smelled cigarettes and heard the sound of mahjong tiles. Most of the memories she had of her father had at least one of those elements. She never had a chance to see another side of him. Her mother, Kaoru, had dragged her across the world with her. So when she heard he had been killed by a man named Samejima Toshikatsu, it didn't hit her too hard. His co-workers shed more tears at the funeral than she did. She merely thought her father was a well-loved man. It wasn't until much later that she realized her father had somewhat deserved his end. Rumor had it he passed his illegal gambling debts onto Samejima Toshikatsu in some nefarious scheme. Haru's mother swept her off to Germany in the meantime. The two fled the public's prying eyes. I can't blame Kyosuke-kun for resenting me. Those were happy memories. She had met Kyosuke on the Sano Corporation rooftop for many an idle conversation, and not once did they ever worry about their feuding families. Kyosuke was cheerful, eloquent, and courageous as a boy. The polar opposite of Haru, who was unable to fit into Japanese schools due to her German upbringing. Usami Haru's only friend was her hero, Samejima Kyosuke. Aww. Oh. My heart is bleeding. Figuratively. Where is Maou? As if to brush away her warm memories, she focused on searching for her mother's murderer's footprints. Reading a book again? I had found the girl's pocket watch just yesterday. We went out on the Sano Corporation's roof today as well. I was hoping I might see that hero girl again.
また来たんだ。
Yeah, I came to see you.
そうなんだ。で、何か用なの？
Let's play.
なんで私？
Don't know.
家族と遊んでれば。
Dad is working, Mum is at the hospital, and my brother is in another country.
外国？
Yeah, England. He's really smart.
年は結構離れてるのね。
About 10 years, but you're about the same age as me, right?
だったら何よ？友達になってくれるっていうの？
Of course.
でも、私来週にはニューヨークに行くんだ。
Why?
お母さんのお仕事についていくの。私も前座みたいなことするの。
Opening act? What's that?
大勢の前でバイオリン弾くの。
I really like Air on the G string.
そうなんだ。
I heard of it because my dad listens to it a lot. He's always listening to it these days.
だったら今度弾いてあげなくもないけど。
Oh, yeah, and I like... Oh god, I can't read that. That thing, too.
無視
I heard about that one at school. It's kind of dark, but cool. Its title means devil. I see.
魔王って。
Hey, you'll come back, right? From New York?
まあ、いつになるかわからないけど。一応
Hey,
日本に家があるから
Kennedy. Hi, how's it going? What do you mean for now?
別に。
Yeah, I'm really happy that you came at a cute moment and you skipped the beginning, which was not cute. This is Haru when she was little. And apparently this is how she first met Kyosuke, and this is Kyosuke over here. Are you lonely?
なんで
Oh, awesome. Okay. Hope you enjoyed. Your dad is always busy, right? Mine is too. And I had a baby sister a while ago, but she died.
そう。
Her name was Kiyomi, and she was really cute. We were still happy. Sometimes my brother comes home too. I took a picture of him just a while ago. I can use a camera.
カメラくらい私も使えるよ。
Next time I'll take a picture of you.
いいよ。なんで
As a keepsake. Oh, I wonder if he did and he does have that still. Ooh.
やだよ。私女の子っぽくないし。
Don't worry about it. Come to my house sometime. Oh, it also seems that, see, Haru has like super short hair here. But he told her in a previous conversation that he likes girls with long hair. So my guess is that's why she grew her hair out. Ridiculously long.
だからニューヨーク行くってば。
I didn't say next week. I said sometime. Anytime. We can all have dinner together. I'll tell you the address. She just needs to brush it a bit. Yeah, she's like letting it be wild.
考えておくけど、あまり期待しないでね。
The entrance to a dark tunnel looms before me. This is it. The outer underground discharge channel. Several footprints had trailed mud through the passage. Wait for me, Usami. I listen in and hear footsteps echoing from afar. It's Usami. She really came alone. This should be fun. I'd have expected her to call the cops. She must be drunk on heroism. Oh god. She must want to catch me with her own hands. That, or she must have decided I'd run away with my tail between my legs if she led police into my trap. Either way, she's come to die. Yeah, so we have the cuteness, wholesomeness of the past in contrast with the present where he wants to kill her. It's great, it's just fantastic. What a foolish hero. Yeah. She stubbornly chased me all this way, despite her powerlessness. She'd have done better to live the quiet life of a violinist. It's time to end this. Over here, Usami. I shout an invitation to her deathbed. As I anxiously awaited my reunion with Hiro, my life took a turn for the worse. The police called the house one night. They informed us that my father, Samejima Toshikatsu, had been arrested for murder. I'll never forget my mother's strength and kindness that bitter night. What's wrong? I asked her. Nothing, she replied, smiling. The next day I was scared to go to school. I had been a leader in my class until then, but after the incident I had no place there. Are you alright, Kyosuke-kun? You look like you might collapse. If there's something on your mind, you can always tell me, okay? My teacher reassured me during homeroom. When she did so, my classmates' apprehensive stares twitched. Everyone be nice to Kyosuke-kun. He and his dad are two different people. He didn't do anything wrong. We should try to support him. Oh, bless that teacher. That triggered the bullying. I mean, it seems like they were gonna bully you anyway. I don't think the teacher triggered it. Yeah. Right, so just to make sure we're all on the same page here and you're not confused, Kennedy. If you remember the letter at the end of last stream, Kyosuke's biological dad was lured into disadvantage. Let's say, I don't know how to put it. That weird contract that he signed, right? Basically dumping onto him a huge debt that he couldn't possibly pay back. And there was the rest of the conflict with his co-worker, which is Haru's dad. And so it seems that he killed him. And that's how things are connected. Yeah. The triggering of the bullying, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that the teacher trying to appeal to the kids and to be nice to Kyosuke is what triggered the bullying, because it seems to me from how it's described that they would have bullied him anyway. The kids started throwing around the term death penalty as a joke. And come recess, I often found a jump rope knotted menacingly on my desk. I came home to my mother slumped in a chair when she would typically be cheerfully cooking. With a broken face, one that had clearly given up, she welcomed me thusly. Did anyone say anything to you at school? I panicked and quickly put both my hands to my neck to hide the bruising. Ooh, oh lord. Yeah, it may have been like that was the moment when the bullying started, right? Maybe that's what it meant. The doorbell rang incessantly. I opened the door to a swarm of buzzing reporters and cameras. The bright flashes blinded me. Hey, don't take photos of the kid. I'll crop him out later. Oh yeah, sure you will. Hey kid, do you mind? Go get your mom, son. I was overwhelmed by the wall of people. I tried to close the door, but they shot their hands out at me like a pack of zombies. Man, this really shouldn't be allowed. How is this allowed? I don't know. I've seen like other cases where the media is just absolutely relentless, climbing like walls or fences to get into people's property, to get photos of whatever. How is that even like legal? I can't imagine. Anyway. They jumped to their feet in the threshold, refusing to allow me to escape. After one of them stubbornly shoved the camera through the gap, I lost consciousness. From that day forth, my life was hell. Day after day, hordes, packs, swarms of media stormed my once peaceful home. Maybe that's why some countries don't release names and faces of criminals, at least in some countries or something, as I heard. I see. Yeah, I don't know. Especially with the child involved, I can't imagine any of this should fly. I would say this can't possibly be legal, but I don't know. I don't know the laws in Japan. Neighbors shut their mouths off about my family, and every time we nearly lost ourselves in this earthly chaos, a loan shark from the underworld named Asai Gonzo returned to collect his due. My saving grace was what remained of my family, my mother and brother. Samejima Kyohei had rushed back to Japan when he heard the news. He didn't stay for long though. He merely reprimanded me a few times, supported Mum for a little while, offered a stick of incense to our late sister's portrait, and planned one more brief trip to Britain to drop out of school. However, hell had other plans for my mother and me. Kyohei was caught in a subway bombing in London and lost his life. Oh my god. I had been wondering what happened to him. Okay. Kyohei's funeral was a sad event on many levels. Apparently the bomb's blast was so powerful that not even a scrap of his body was found. Ah. Then how do you know? Are we sure? Okay. Let's put a pin in that. I don't know. With Dad unavailable, Mother acted as chief mourner. I think she was at her limits. The deep despair had painted an impossible pallor on her face. The relatives in town for mourning had taken care of the funeral arrangements, apparently hoping to help Mum out. But behind the caring facade, they were all conspiring to strip my father's assets from him. Despite being tormented by debt, he had always adamantly refused to sell the house. Does this not sound familiar? He saw the house as the last stronghold of his family. Gee, I wonder who else felt the same. And besides, why should we have to sell off the house which held our memories of Kyohei Nisan and Kiyomi to pay off a debt we shouldn't rightfully have? Of course, that logic didn't work on our relatives. One of my uncles had lent father money to pay off his debts. With land that was worth over 275,000 yen per square foot, just ripe for the taking, it was only natural for him to take initiative and put his all into this little event. My brother Kyohei's funeral was neither a celebration of life nor a moment of sorrow, but a farce centered around the sparkling of gold. Oh my god. This particular uncle was a self-sustaining fisherman from Hokkaido. My father was the only successful person in his family. He was raised poor but studied like a madman to get into a top university and land his job with Sano Corporation. His brothers must have been jealous and likely asked him for money often. That on top of the 100,000 yen Dad sent home to his family every month. My god. You'd think my uncles would be a little more loyal after all that money. I can't. Some people really like to run their mouths, don't they? And not only that they're running their mouths, but like their mouths are spouting the river of garbage that's flowing through their minds. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it. Even as a child, I could feel the evil intent hiding behind their kind faces. I could hear their whispers from the other side of the shut sliding doors. Toshikatsu's such a damn buffoon. You know, he never was one to talk things over with us. His wife's got it tough too. She's a Toyama family girl, but I hear her folks won't let her come home unless she divorces Toshikatsu. Don't look at me like that's gonna happen. I told him time and time again, these inlander women are scary. Sure, she's got it tough and all, but she's rolling in Toshikatsu's dough. What dough, dude? Jesus Christ. She may be a cute little thing, but she's too old to have any more kids. I'll take care of it, just leave it to me. What does that mean you'll take care of it? Take care of what? Oh god. You mean the money? I'm sure the good Lord wouldn't mind if we took a little something from a guy who decided he'd rather cause trouble than support his family. I wonder why I'm in a place like this as I listen to the priest chanting sutras. Yeah, I don't know, that also doesn't make sense to me. Maybe something was lost in translation, or maybe that's just the point, that they don't make much fucking sense and they're just unpleasant people. Just a few days ago, I had plenty of friends My family was happy, and the sky from the Sano Corporation rooftop spread far around me. Now my father's in a cell. My mother seems about to faint. My brother was so thoroughly eliminated from this world that there's nothing left of him to mourn. I still have a pinned question mark on that. And to add insult to injury, the media and my family circle like vultures, willing to watch us suffer for a buck. Why do I have to go through this hell? Why must I struggle on this spider's web? Why do I have to be afraid of people's stares and whispers? There was someone looking down on me as I held my knees in the corner of the room.
京介くん、おっかさんにお願いしてもらえんべか?
Oh god, what is it? His fake smile was so unlike my father's that I found it hard to believe they were
お
brothers.
っかさんに実家に帰ってもらえんかの?
I thought they were refusing to take her back, so what? He was telling us to hand over the house in a roundabout way.
京介くんも辛いべよ。よその学校の方がいいべよ。
I'm staying with Mom. Annoyed that he couldn't pick a better time, I stood up against
とし
him.
かさんの夫さんはえらいことをしたんだわ。そういうことをしたもんはよ、家族ひっくるめて家を出ていくもんなんだべよ。
Common decency. Is it common decency what you're doing? Dude, that annoyed bird is so cute though. I love it. It's the perfect emote. That didn't do anything wrong. He muttered, then turned around to his other brothers. They don't usually engage in open confrontation. They just use sly means to get their way.
いいか、京介。夫さんは4人も殺したんよ。人殺しだべ。夫さんを信じるのはいいが、人殺しが悪くないと言ったらいいか。
Yeah, I guess so. Wait, 4 people? The fuck are you talking about? But Mom loves that too.
そりゃ旦那が金さ持ってるからだべ。そんなことよう言えんから、こうして身内が気をもんでるんだわ。子供にはわからんだろうがの。
What a bunch of bullshit is he spouting? Like, what? His face grew more
一
threatening.
方的ですまんがよ。わしの言うことを聞きなさい。頼れる身内もおらんのだべよ。母さんに苦労させたくないべ。
My body shakes in anger as I realize I can't escape him. Alright. I don't want to upset her. I nodded to that. But my uncles heaved a relieved sigh, thinking they'd won me over. Yeah, I'm not sure about the... I all this time... Okay, I might be really bad with details, okay? So if details were sprinkled in the past streams, if they weren't much connected to anything and it was something vague or something at the time, my mind has a bad a bad time keeping track of it and like remembering it. So maybe I missed that, but all of this time I thought he just killed one person. What's up with 4 people? What the heck is he trying to do? Or that, yeah. Okay. I was just thinking of my mother. What could she say in her defense, with the whole family ganging up on her? Would anyone believe her if she alone pleaded her innocence? She did nothing wrong, I thought. This is unfair. I was angry at myself for being powerless and ignorant. If Dad were here, he'd beat them up. If Kyohei were here, he'd chase them off with eloquent words. Anyone. I wished for anyone to come save us. If just one person came to defend my mother's honor, even if it accomplished nothing, I would be satisfied. The sutras end and I crouch to the floor. If I let myself be seen crying, I've lost. I grit my teeth, desperately trying to bear the pressure. The door at the back slides open.
お邪魔します
Okay, there she is. When did she come back from New York? With an unbelievable amount of gumption for that tiny body, the young hero had jumped in.
兄ちゃんにお線香をあげに来ました。
Everyone was in a clamor at the sudden intruder.
どこどこだ。場所をわきまえなさい。
My eyes meet with hers. She must have guessed what was happening, seeing me with tears of anguish in my eyes. Hiro stared my uncle
場
down.
所をわきまえるのはお前らの方だ。
It sounds like she overheard the conversation. Wait. Is what? No way, Kiyomi-chan. Don't be stupid, Kiyomi died. But she said her brother. The adults seem to have just realized that this is a funeral. Some kid none of them knew suddenly showed up. They looked at the girl with white faces as if they'd seen a
お
ghost.
前ら寄ってたかって白いものを黒だと抜かし、おっかさんや京介君をいじめるのか？
Her intelligence and courage stopped my tears.
わざわざ天国から出張ってきたんだ。ふざけたこと抜かしたらまとめて連れて帰るぞ。
Yeah, she is. This is adorable. I can't. And at the same time, it's yeah. I totally can see her do this. It's like right up her alley.
そんな。
My uncle's face, warped with greed not half a moment ago, was now clearly quailing. It was awesome. Hiro came and saved me from this hellish place. It was only then that Mom shed her first tears. Maybe she really believed Kiyomi had appeared. The tears on her cheeks bore hints of a hue other than sadness. Aww. Oh, okay. Alright. Now we jump into this and the music is... Alright. I'll just make a quick run to the bathroom and I'll be right back. See where this is going. It was, wasn't it? That was so cute. No, she doesn't die. I don't believe that for a second. No. It's gonna be okay somehow. I don't know how. I have no idea. At the present time, he wants to kill her, yes. So he had trouble remembering that they met as kids, first of all. He's starting to remember. I guess that's why we saw those glimpses of memories. But he confirmed earlier in the beginning of the stream that she is the daughter of the guy who put their whole family in debt. So he, I guess, blames her or wants to take revenge on her for what their dad did to his family. I guess that's the rationale on his side for now. So yeah, I mean, it is, if you stop to think about it, he was bullied and blamed for what his dad did, but he is not his dad, right? And he experienced the brunt of the unfairness of being accused, or like not necessarily accused, but being treated badly because of what his dad did. But then he wants to take revenge on on Haru, because of what her dad did, basically placing the blame on her, which is the thing that was done onto him and he thought was unfair. But he's not thinking that right now. I guess he's overcome with his hatred. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. I'll be right back. Okay, Bancho is predicting a dark turn of events. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see where it goes. Where is he? She searched for Mao in the monstrous cavern among its countless towering pillars. Oh, I think this is what I'm gathering. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But at this moment in time, Haru does not, or like, in her heart of hearts, she doesn't want to believe that Kyosuke is Mao. So she thinks she's here for a meeting with Mao. So yeah, let's see where that, like, how that unfolds. The silence seemed to hurt Haru's ears. She realized she had walked into a trap of her own volition. There were plenty of hiding places for Mao. He could be aiming at her with a gun at this very moment. Oh, voice acting! Thank you! Thank you! I would have wanted to hear him in the memories as well. That would have been nice. Hearing Jun Fukuyama try to do a kid's voice. That would have been cute. But no. Okay. I'll take what I get though. I'm happy. Mao's voice suddenly rang out from the abyss. The extreme echoes in the artificial underground space masked the location of the speaker. Hearing her father's name didn't move Haru in the slightest. The ominous darkness around her seemed to engulf Haru, and with every passing second, she was more sure that this was indeed the residence of the devil. Footsteps echoed around her. He was close. Haru pricked up her ears and stared into the darkness, refusing to let a single sound go unheard. It paid off. She heard a noise and turned around. A piece of concrete had fallen to the ground. It was a distraction. Was he toying with her? The tension began to run her breath ragged. I watched Usami from behind the pillar. My only question is this: is she armed? Most importantly, is she carrying a gun? She's traveled extensively in her life, so it's possible she has experience with live ammunition. However, where would she get a gun in Japan? And she'd have to be a fearful sharpshooter indeed to hit me in this darkness, but there's always the remote possibility. When she quickly turned at the stone I threw, I watched the twisting of Usami's clothes. I couldn't see any bulge at her waist that might be a sidearm. I'll laugh if it turns out she hid something in her bust or the like, but I don't intend to give her the time to reach any elaborate hiding spots. Nevertheless, it seems she does have some sort of weapon. It does? I keep a close eye on her right hand. She's holding it low and tense. In other words, it's poised to move quickly in the event of a surprise attack. Thus, she's carrying something near her right hand. Her skirt pocket, most likely. What kind of weapon is it, I wonder? Here I am making a wild guess. It's the pocket watch. It's the penguin pocket watch. A small knife, maybe? No, I'd say it's more like a common women's defense tool. Pepper spray or a taser, perhaps. They even sell tasers in the shape of pens here in Japan. What? A tent? Oh god, okay. Okay, I wouldn't never have thought of that. Now, allow me to demonstrate my reverence for you, hero. It's a wacky series, I see. Usami didn't respond. You didn't bring any friends, let alone police, and chased me all this way alone. Indeed, this is nothing more than a game, after all. Thus, I won't intrude upon your honor by taking you down with a rifle from afar. You wouldn't use a shotgun to kill a rat, would you? Despite the fact that rats spread some rather troublesome diseases. I thought it would be best to choke you to death. Oh. Ah, sure, full circle moment, just like father. I feel like mimicking him might allow me to carry some of father's karma. I burst into a dash. I leap from pillar to pillar, keeping my cover. I reach a second pillar, a third, and I keep moving. I can tell Usami's breathing is getting unsteady. As I should have expected, she didn't blindly swallow my words. I'm carrying a gun under my suit jacket. If I get careless and she gets the drop on me, I'll just shoot her and be done with it. Now he's moving to the right. He moves between pillars with the swiftness of a panther. Hado panicked at Mao's playful movements. She'd never fought with her life on the line before. She certainly didn't expect to use the karate she practiced after quitting the violin to work on Maou. This was her best chance to defeat Maou. If I had to choose, I prefer to get shot than choked. Oh lordy lord. I see where you're coming from. I'd rather not experience either of them. As long as Mao's pride continued to play with a powerless girl like her, she would eventually be given an opportunity to strike. The chance will only show itself for a moment. She checks for her hidden taser again. Okay, it's a taser. Just pressing the 10 centimeter long weapon into an attacker's body will send electrodes flying into their skin. The manual claimed it supplies 500,000 volts, enough to rob the consciousness from any human, no matter the size. Penguin taser, surely. I was just joking earlier. Hado tries to close in on her target. She moves to the pillar she last saw Maou at and glues her back to it. Sweat slowly trickled from the fingertips of her tense right arm. We continued our dance for a while, switching places now and then. This great round open space. The pillars standing at equally paced points. Usami must be losing her bearings, running through this repetitive scenery. As proof of that, I have Usami's back. Of course, Usami will be watching her six carefully. We're around 5 meters apart. All I need to do is jump out and strangle her slender throat. Ugh. But is it possible? Usami is most likely hiding a weapon. But if she has a weapon, why doesn't she keep it in her hand? Be it a knife or a taser, it would behoove her to hold it at the ready for a quick counterattack. Is she unarmed, or is it that she wants me to think? Sorry. Or is that what she wants me to think? Sorry, I read that wrong. We're getting nowhere here, Usami. Not a fraction of a second after I opened my mouth, I heard a sound I hadn't heard until then. That metal sound must have been the weapon in Usami's uniform. Did she knock it against a pillar or something? Heh. I run through the darkness again, taking distance from Usami. What are you waiting for? I'm right here. I'll wait patiently until my prey weakens. A schoolgirl who hasn't even been through basic training will inevitably run out of stamina. Your breathing's getting heavy. Is something the matter? I weave from pillar to pillar with blinding speed, leading her on with a glimpse of my back each time. Usami chases me. Is your hatred for me this weak? How long did we play this hide and seek? I look back and scrutinize Usami's face as it's lit by the emergency lights. Her eyes are unfocused and her lips are flaccid. There was indeed a black weapon in her right hand, most likely some sort of taser as I'd predicted. Usami trips and I don't fail to recognize my chance. She must have gotten caught on a pillar. Usami falls to the ground face first. The black object falls out of her hand. I turn aside deftly and fiercely draw in on the fallen Usami. Usami hurries to jump up and I push her down. Now, die. Ugh. I put my hands to her already deathly pale neck. What's wrong, hero? Use your head. As I say that, I put all my strength into keeping the blood away from her brain. Taste it well. Your father died this way too. Usami slowly stops resisting. I'm taking her life. Oh my gosh. The sensation is so incredibly intoxicating. My father, Samijima Toshikatsu, wished for Haru's death. Did he? As long as she lives, the demon named Usami Yoshinori will never be taught his lesson. Huh. I have no mercy. I don't feel any pangs of conscience. Ah, wait, he did... Yes, now I'm sorry. He did wish for that, I guess, because he wanted her father to be punished by losing his daughter in a similar way that he had lost his daughter, but was kind of like, you know, taken advantage of and not necessarily made fun of, but yeah. The pain. Yes. Now I pieced it together. For a moment, like I said, it wasn't floating in my head, and then I reached for the information and remembered last stream. Yeah. I know, right? That's what I'm thinking as well. The dude is dead. You're not actually doing anything. Like, this is very twisted logic. It's just there to justify his own anger and desire for revenge. Right. Usami will die at my hands. The life quickly fades from her eyes. In contrast, my face must be warped with delight. If only you could see me now, father. I'm finally going to... There's something coming for my chest. I look at it reflexively. Shock and regret fly through my mind. I was being conceited. Who said she'd only have one weapon? My teeth crack in humiliation. Mao's screams pour down like rain. Haru squeezes out all her remaining strength. She had pulled out the hidden weapon from her skirt pocket. The taser she was clenching took to Mao's chest. Usami Haru gathered all of her love for her mother and resentment toward quitting the violin. She forced these emotions into her arm and threw it forward. There was a flash like lightning, or at least there was supposed to be. She couldn't believe her eyes. Electrodes should have fired into Mao, then discharged with vengeance. Is it broken? No. Something in Mao's chest blocked it. Something hard. A lot of civilian tasers comes with a warning that they won't work on especially firm surfaces. A gun? By the time she tried to press it onto another part of his body, it was too late. Mao smiled. She feels all the power drained from her. Her last weapon was smacked from her hand and flew far out of reach. His hands wrap around her neck. Despair wells up in her. That was it. She had nothing else. This is the end. There was never any point to it. Haru's resistance against Mao had been nothing more than a game to the bitter end. She's going to be killed. Killed like her father was. Her body attempted to shut down, and her consciousness slowly drowned. Her last memories were fuzzy. Her sight was gorged in red, and the boundary between life and death grew impossible to resolve. Well, I don't know if he deserved to be murdered, okay? Definitely deserved to be thrown in jail for what he did. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I'm kind of taken with emotion right now. So all she knew was that she was close to it now. She passed across an unbearable pain into an euphoric floating sensation. Her pupils dilated, her eyes rolled back. Her bodily functions were about to cease entirely. Kyosuke-kun. Thank you so much for yesterday, hero. The day after she had barged into his brother's funeral, Kyosuke came to the rooftop.
ごめんね。勝手に妹さんのふりして。
Don't worry about it. You were so awesome. Haru knew her childish trick was only a quick fix. In the end, they'd still have to leave their home. I love you. Oh, okay. Those carefree words took her by surprise. She couldn't tell him. She couldn't reveal that the man who tormented his father, that the man his father had killed, was her own father. She couldn't tell him. She couldn't let him know that she was leaving the country to flee society's prying eyes. Man, so she was aware even as a kid of the situation. Aww. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll see. A cold sweat ran down her back. She tried to smile, but it didn't work out so well. The power of the word love had driven the moisture from her lips.
私が好きって。京介くんはほら、お友達多そうじゃない？
Yeah, I used to, at least. Kyosuke's voice grew a shade darker. She said something really thoughtless. Her pulse skyrocketed.
恋人とかいるの？
She asked with feigned nonchalance. Nevertheless, the book she was holding was quivering with her arms, and the anxiety nearly made her jump from the 50-story building she sat atop. No, let's not get into that again. You sure act like a grown-up hero. Dad always said girls were interested in that sort of thing, though.
いいから、いるのいないの？
Nope, I never even thought about it. He smiles, much to her relief. No, this wasn't the time to be relieved. She musters all her courage. The determination in her chest draws air into her parched mouth.
しょうがないわね。なら、私が結婚してあげるわよ。
She couldn't force a smile. Only tears decorated her face. In the heat of the moment, she had said such a thing. Nonchalantly, indifferently.
また会えたらね。覚えていたらでいいから。私これから引っ越すの。運命の再会っていうのかな。ロマンチックじゃない？
You're moving?
そう。
Why?
バイオリンの勉強するの。
Will you be leaving the country?
デュッセルドルフ。ヨーロッパね。
No way. His voice clouded over.
寂しい。
Of course I will. Her heart nearly leapt from her chest at
だ
that.
からほら、また会えたら結婚してあげるって。こういう約束って大人に言わせれば恥ずかしいんだろうね。でもいいじゃない。勇者からのお願い。
After getting all that out at once, she realized the absurdity of her words. Her knees started to buckle. It was as if her entire body was protesting against her brazen confession. Marry me?
嫌なの。
Are you serious?
本気よ。
This time her voice clearly shook. Does he think I'm weird now? Does he think I'm bossy? Does he hate me? Is he going to laugh at me for being so childish? Oh, wait, Kyosuke-kun said he liked long-haired girls. However, as if to pick up the pieces of Haru's shattered heart, the boy responded kindly. Alright, it's a promise.
覚えていなさいよ。私のお母さんすごい美人なんだからね。この意味わかるかな？つまり、私もこれからすごい美人になるってこと。
Yeah, kids. I get very strong, like, Umineko vibes from this, with the whole I'll come on as your prince on a horse to rescue you or whatever, you know, it kind of gives me the same type of vibe. It's just in the other direction. If she survives and then there is romance between them, it will drive me mad. Dating a guy who tried to choke her. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully this isn't too triggering. Yeah, like, it's pretty messed up. I don't know how they could possibly spin it in a positive direction unless, like, there's real repentance coming from him in some sort of way or another, which I can't, to be honest, I can't imagine what that would be like. Yeah, sorry about that. No, that's terrible. Yeah, and I'll grow out my hair. The girl stood up and turned to face the boy. She gave him a huge smile as she cried on the inside. And though her heart was fluttering, she knew it wasn't likely they'd meet again. Even if they did, the boy would be an adult. It would be a reunion between the son of a murderer and his victim's daughter. Kyosuke-kun would hold a grudge against her. But she didn't care.
約束ね。
She smiled again. The boy returned the smile in kind. Yeah, good luck with the violin. He gazed at her so gently. He spoke so kindly. Everything about him made her sad to say goodbye, as she knew the passage of time would likely rob her of her fleeting dreams. She wanted to stay like this. However, she knew that she would be unable to force her smile much longer if she stayed with the boy. And she refuses to cry right now. There would be plenty time for tears in the coming months.
じゃあね。とりあえずフェリーでどこかの空港まで行くらしいから。気が向いたら港まで見送りに来てよ。
Ooh, the docks, okay. Yeah, I'll be there. The evening sky dyed the boy's cheeks a shade of orange. The girl forced her stiffened lips into one last false smile and waved goodbye. She took 2 steps. She wanted to turn around and hug him. She broke into a run as she began to imagine the feeling of her first love's chest. Tears fogged her vision and the wind carried away her weeping. She looked up to the sky and it seemed to change from its winter hue to the lively colors of spring. Haru wished from the bottom of her heart. She wished that someday, somewhere, their promise would be fulfilled. She wished for a reunion between 2 innocent angels, without any heed at all to fathers or sins. She wished for a glimpse of gentle spring in her life of winter. Oh, my heart. Usami was muttering something. Tears rolled from her eyes. It was almost like she was trying to tickle my conscience. Usami. A tinge of headache came on. The strength in my grip weakens ever so slightly. The softness in me thought I killed... The softness in me I thought I killed reared its head. A father is a father and a daughter is a daughter. What sin has Usami Haru committed? Ugh, shut up, Usami. But she didn't stop calling for Kyosuke. No matter how much you cry or wail, Kyosuke isn't coming. I froze my heart. That's right, I'm Maou. A man who sought salvation in revenge and threw away everything else in its name. I'm different from that good-for-nothing Azai Kyosuke. I begin to wring her neck again. This time, I'll kill her. I moan and sway as I crush this life in my hands. Today has been really ripe with lines that are very hard to read. I'm so sorry. I'll skip this one this time. I hear the sound of footsteps fighting through darkness. I hear rough breaths betraying a powerful desperation. He's close by. It seems he's come for me. I see. I thought I was being followed. That was him? That unfilial betrayal, the adopted son of Azai Gonzo. I called him at midnight in order to bait Gonzo. He must have lost it. I was supposed to have been dead after all. I meant to kill the traitor. Ooh, okay. Alright. When I found out he was acting as a rep for Azai's front business, I went mad with rage. I have a feeling as to what this is. But then if this is it, then I'm even more confused. The damn weakling getting too big for his boots. Nevertheless, the footsteps I hear hold no hesitation. A far cry indeed from the delusional boy I called earlier tonight. He'd gone so far off the deep end that he believed himself to be Maou. Ah, God damn it. Here it is. Remember the brother that they found no pieces of? They just explained that earlier. That's the only thing that I'm thinking of. So that's how it is. I put my life on the line while he sat around fostering his love. Let her go, he shouted at me. Don't lay a finger on Usami. The tone of his voice seemed determined to protect this girl. You do know who you're speaking to, don't you? Yeah. Who does he think he is interfering with my plans? I'm not entirely sure how everything connects, okay? Just let's see where it goes. That damn Kyosuke. Opposing me. Samejima Kyohei. There we go. I remember. The words I said that day so long ago stayed with me, though I had long forgotten why. The waves peacefully swayed as we stood on the docks. The girl was just about to board her ship. I asked the girl a question. Hey, what's your name?
勇者は勇者よ。
Tell me.
じゃあ、私が本当の勇者になったら教えてあげる。
Oh, you're not a real hero yet?
うん。
She must have thought herself immature for not having the courage to be honest. Alright, I got it then. She probably didn't want to tell him her name, because then he would know whose daughter she was. I flushed a toothy grin. So you're going to be a hero, huh? Then I'll... Azai Kyosuke will... There we go. Now we get names as well. We didn't have that before. I'll become your comrade and protect you, hero. Delicious voice acting, I gotta say. Kyohei-ni-san. No, Mao. I take a step forward. Let Usami go. Your evil deeds end here. Mao looks up at me firmly. His eyes bear a powerful hatred. It seems so. I've already contacted the Sonoyama group. You have nowhere to run. I'm not the boy I used to be. After seeing me, Usami slowly closed her eyes. I'm happy to see you too, Nissan. I thought you'd be blown to bits. Why would you fake your own death? More importantly, you wanted to frame me by doing everything under the Azai name, is that it?
正確には浅井と名乗っていたのだがな。まあそれでもゴンゾーを含め大勢の人間がお前を魔王だと勘違いしてくれた。
You must have had it easy thanks to that. Everyone seemed to suspect me after you blew up Gonzo's car.
なに車に爆弾など北アイルランドではよくある話だ。
Okay, if you say so. Did you join up with terrorists?
似たようなものかな。
I suppose that's why you were able to use such dangerous equipment as rifles and military bombs.
あんなもの中東では10歳の子供でも使える。
Okay. A long time has passed since my brother Kyohei disappeared. He's always been cold despite the flaming passion within
京
him.
介、お前はなぜ私に力を貸さない？よく聞け。父はたったの4人。それも死んで当然の人間を殺して死刑になったのだぞ。この国では何の罪もない幼児を惨殺しておいて極刑に至らない人間もいるそうじゃないか。
Is your aim to free Dad?
いかにこの10年そのために準備を重ねてきたのだ。
Preparation? Righteous indignation crawled up my back. You're saying kidnapping Tsubaki's brother, killing Gonzo, and making Tokita your puppet was preparation? But Mao's smile was unfazed.
浅井ゴンゾーは死んで当然ではないか。母が心を壊したのは誰のせいだ？
I don't know. That felt like really weird to me. It was happened in the beginning of the stream tonight. And to me it felt like too easy. Like Gonzo just got out of the car and allowed himself to be sniped. So I was not sure what that meant because it seems like it was just too easy. But at least from Mao's perspective, he had killed him. That was his belief. So that's what he's relaying here, I suppose. That's true. I can't deny it.
椿はいい坊やだった。汚れを知らぬ娘は簡単に悪に染まる。もう少し時間があれば時田と同じように仲間に加えてやったものを。
What did you intend to do with these children you gathered up?
それを今話すのは面白くないな。
He's arrogant to the bitter end. The genius brother I once knew has apparently nurtured his talent only for evil.
京介、今からでも遅くはない。私に従い、一緒に父さんを救おうじゃないか。
Not a chance in hell. I shout my rejection to myself as much as him. And if you care to know why, I stare at Usami, the young hero. She saved me when I was all alone. Even if it was only for a moment, she let me taste spring. It's because you toyed with my woman. I mean... We both experienced the beginning of this... sorry, not we both, but like, we all experienced the beginning of the stream, right? It was him there, it was Kyosuke, and he was, like, acting that way towards her, but now she's his woman, and like, okay, fine. It is possible for people to be on death row for a long time. It is possible. To be honest, they did probably mention this in a past stream, but last time as we were reading the letter I realized I had struggled to remember if he had actually died or not. They probably mentioned that he was sentenced to death, but I don't know if they actually said that it was carried out or not. But now, given the conversation that, you know, he was trying to, you know, free him or whatever, that would mean that he hasn't yet been executed. So I don't know. This line, my woman. He tore apart her friendship with Tsubaki and Tokita, all in the name of his little game. And now he's trying to take her very life. I'll say it once more. Take your hands off Usami. What did she ever do to you?
失望したぞ京介
Oh, ooh. Mao slowly stood up.
お前は父の面会に足を運んだのか
He's got me where it hurts.
父の無念をなぜ分かってやらない過去の闇を捨て都合よく生きようなどとはおこがましいにも程がある
His mockery was interrupted by countless footsteps resounding from the darkness behind me. Several thick Yakuza accents bellowed, "Son, Kyosuke-san," and the like.
京介この場を引いてやる
Mao smiled in condescension and let go of Usami. He must have concluded that taking Usami hostage would have no effect on the Sonoyama group, whose single goal was to avenge their boss. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But it seems like the emotions are really high here with around this entire situation, which I totally understand in terms of how each character feels. That doesn't mean their actions are justified.
だが次に会う時は死を覚悟しておけ
A frightening resentment was in his eyes.
家族と人間のクズはいくらでも両立する仇の娘に惚れた男などもはや弟でも何でもない
Remember this. Mao ran into the darkness. I couldn't run after him. He might have led traps around, but more importantly, I couldn't just leave Usami there unconscious. Even this darkness couldn't hide the fact that her face had lost all color. Hey, Usami. I lift Usami's upper body a bit and lightly slap her cheeks. Oh yeah, they have always been, actually, like Romeo and Juliet. Are you alright? I was just in the nick of time.
くれたんだやっぱり京介くんは
Her head dropped. Seems she lost consciousness again.
私の勇者
Her innocent face bore a similarity to the girl I met so long ago. I gently hold her hand. Of all her cold body, there alone felt wait? He probably means her hand. Her hand alone felt as warm as the spring sun. Okay. Weird way of translating it. After that ordeal, I carried Usami on my back, left the underground channel, and took her back to my place. Groans came from the bed. Are you finally awake? She suddenly kicked the covers off of her.
ここは天国ですか
This is heaven. It's my apartment, dumbass.
なぜに私はこんなダサい服を着てるんですか
It's your jogging suit. I went to the trouble of going to your house and getting it for you.
どうして私の家を
And you changed her into it? Okay. I asked Tokita and Shiratori. They let me borrow your key. Usami's place is close to this apartment. Seems she was renting the second floor of some company warehouse.
私の部屋に無断で入ったと
Yeah, but don't worry, Tokita and Shiratori were there too.
可愛いものがたくさんあって燃えたでしょ
No, it was jam-packed with disgusting plushies. He really likes to use this word in describing things about her. Like, what? Earlier she was your woman. Now her plushies are disgusting. Like, what? Yeah, right? Says the lady with the collection behind her. I love my plushies. There was a bunch of penguins with mohawks lined up. That's adorable.
ユキとミズハはどこに？
They both went home. Tomorrow, well, I guess today, they'll be going to school as normal again. Usami's face clouded over.
しかし、ユキは
Yeah, but she wants to apologize to Miss Noriko before she turns herself in. Tokita seemed determined to do
で
so.
も、一人残されるミズハはどうなります？
I don't know. She said she'll be around later, so you can ask her yourself.
でも、こんな格好を人に見せたくないです。
What about me? What happened to wanting to show off your outfit? And here I was worrying about her. Your uniform is at the cleaners, so just deal with it until tomorrow.
ひとまず、お礼を言っておきます。
She bowed her head.
ありがとうございました。
Don't worry about
あ
it.
りがとうございました。
Why do you have to say it so many times?
浅井さんが来てくれなかったら、私は今頃極楽に旅立っていました。
Consider it alone.
それでは。
She walks toward the door. Hey, wait, where are you going?
特に当てはありませんが、ここにいてはいけないような気がしますので。
Why not?
なぜって。
Do we not all remember last night? Or the previous night, or whenever that was? She looks down and bites her lip.
私は、あなたのそばにいてはいけないのです。
Because of our parents? I prompt her and Sami quickly
恨
nods.
まれても仕方がありませんから。
Yeah, you had a lot of nerve showing up knowing I'm the son of Samejima Toshikatsu.
すみません。ひょっとして気づいていないんじゃないかと思って、ラッキーとか思ってました。
I remembered the name, but I tried not to think about it. And thanks to that, my old promise left me as well. Now it's too long. Your hair. Sami stopped breathing. It used to be so short that I thought you were a boy.
覚えていたんですね。
Yeah, the marriage promise too. How ridiculous.
ですよね。
Clearly she was overcompensating when she grew her hair out. Clearly. Plushie's ugly, hair too long. Yeah, right? He's a little bit... he's a little bit picky. We stare at each other. There was a conflict inside me. My admiration toward the hero of my memories was at war with my feelings toward the current Asami. The thing is, like, he did display similar feelings, or at least in the moment, right? He did experience similar kind of anger and desire for vengeance as his brother. That was him. 100% feeling that, so... How do we reconcile that? You can't just, like, you know, crack a joke and that goes away. The girl saved me, but Asami Haru is the daughter of my enemy. At least there's that, yes. At least there's that. Anyway, just stay here for now.
いいんですか?
Giddy excitement hid in her voice. For some reason, my heart was beating quickly as well. Hey, Asami.
あ、はい。
Take a shower.
え、
Oopsie. Is he gonna tell her that she stinks? What's with you getting all tense? You were running all around that underground tunnel, weren't you?
あ、そうっすね。頭くせっすね、自分。
She disappears into the changing room. I was getting strangely tense at the sound of Asami stripping behind the door. My woman! Oh my god, I can't. Oh god. It's winter, so there's still a while until the sun comes out. After a somewhat agonizing 30 minutes, Sami came out of the bathroom. It looks like she dried her
コ
hair.
ーヒー牛乳飲みたいんすけど。風呂上がりですし、グイッと。
Shut up. She's always acting screwy. You've really changed.
はあ。どの辺が？
Before, you had a lot more... How should I put it? Bravado?
はあ。すかしてましたか？
You speak differently too. Are you really that hero?
まあ、あなたももっと素直で明るい子でしたけどね。
So, we've both changed. Ears twist people's personalities, but what about their feelings? So you know.
ええ。あなたのことはずっと好きでしたよ。
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still not convinced. But if she loves him, I'm not gonna tell her who she should love, you know. When you say it so nonchalantly like that, it's no wonder I've always thought you were joking.
そうっすか。もうちょっとロマンチックな雰囲気で言えばよかったですね。
Well, either way is fine with me. Is it? I feel uncomfortable somehow. Let's change the
相
topic.
撲の話でもしますか？
Shut up already.
実は、空手は心得ありなのです。
Okay. Seriously?
清帯ですが、
And yet you call that training?
魔王と格闘になって、荒っぽいことには全く向いていないことが発覚しました。
Well, what do you expect with that hair? If it gets grabbed in a fight, you're out.
しかし、浅井さんのお好みがどれほどのロングかわからないので、切ろうにも切れませんでした。
Oh my god. She is adorable through and through, isn't she? Oh god. You really are an idiot. Still, this conversation is strangely lively.
あ、一つ聞いていいですか？
Hmm?
浅井さんには、今、どれくらいの色がいるんですかね？
Lovers? None?
椿は？
No way.
カノンは？
She's my sister, you know.
水葉にユキ。
Are you out of your mind?
よく電話で話しているミキちゃんという方は？
That's a guy. He runs a gay bar downtown, but he's incredible when it comes to snooping around for information. Provided he gets his fee. He seems to have taken a fancy to me.
そうっすか。
What? Were you jealous or something?
ええ。実は、ここぞというタイミングを見計らって、浅井さんの家にお邪魔していたんです。
Okay. Gay bar so we could date him too, I suppose so. Seriously, now that I think about it, I can remember instances like that.
よく、数々の誘惑を振り切って、私を選んでくれましたね。
What's with the fake crying? Chose her. Did I? Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. With embarrassment welling up inside me, I instinctively look away from Sami. She did pop up at his place at the most curious of times, let's say. A lot, yeah, I don't know. With embarrassment welling up inside me, I instinctively look away from Sami.
で、浅井さん。
What are you all wriggly for?
自分、シャワー浴びてきましたけど。
Uh-huh. No, please let's not go down this this path, please. I suddenly become aware of Usami's body. TOS, oh gosh. Steam Edition, I believe in you. Please don't lead us astray. So you mean...
そういうの苦手ですけど。
Yes, protect us, Steam. Wait, no experience? You're a virgin? God, dude, she's a girl in high school. Most likely, yes. Yes. Like, what do you want? Also, she promised herself to you ever since she was a kid. Definitely wanting to uphold that promise. So, yeah. Yeah, it's just when they make Steam versions of these novels, it's usually like they take out the sexy bits, and I'm pretty sure they took it out of this novel as well, because I researched it in the beginning. Okay, I needed to know what I was getting into. So the actual like definitely explicit things are out. But I suppose they did leave a few things in there that were a bit more on the risque side, though they weren't fully there. And we experienced one of those in the beginning of stream tonight, which is why I was saying that it was good that you skipped it. Yeah, it's okay. I think it's fine. As long as they don't make me read weird things, because that's ugh, please. Please no.
あれですよね。ラブホテルには交換日記みたいなのが置いてあるんですよね。
Wait, you read diaries that people write into at love hotels? What? How? When? Why? When did you get the chance to read that? In that earlier scene in the original, she does get naked, so Steam version has already proven itself. Okay, good. I wouldn't know, okay? I don't know. Clearly, I have no knowledge of that and no experience with it. I've only heard of them in anime and visual novels, that they exist as a principle. But, yeah. Only a virgin would say that.
どうなんですか?
Well, I did say I'd do more than just rape you next time I saw you. You did say that, didn't you?
そうでしたね。別にいいですよ。
Oh God.
どんなマニアックなプレイされても。
I saw them in manga and there were no diaries there. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I can't. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. That's why I'm still uncomfortable with this pairing, at least at how things are going at this moment, because he did feel hatred towards her, and he did tell her that next time he would do more than rape her, which he alluded to being killing her, right? So he did experience those feelings, and it was definitely him saying and doing those things. So I don't know, I personally can't get over it. I can just brush it off that easily. I also don't think him saving her earlier wipes the slate clean. So maybe they can meet again after years in therapy. Oh God. He definitely needs help though. He's bottling too many things up. But that's a different thing. Don't call me Kyosuke-kun.
じゃあ、代わりに春って呼んでもらっても構いませんよ。
To make it even my ass.
残念です。
Anyway, I'll hop in the bath for a second.
じゃあ、ベッドでお待ち申し上げていればいいんですかね。
Fed up with her, I head to the dressing room. Blueberry, yeah. I'm scared. Is this safe territory? Yeah. So Kyosuke does have a therapist, and we saw him going to a few sessions more towards the beginning of the novel, because after that he abandoned it. And there was a line that was describing him as having a blubbery head, right? So I guess that means he was a little bit on the fluffier side. But when I was reading it, I accidentally read it as blueberry head. And for a moment I was like, wait, what? No, wait, sorry, I misread that. And so I will never outlive that, Bancho. Remind me. of my misreading, and I guess it also kind of dubbed as a nickname for that guy. Dr. Akimoto, was it his name? So yeah, it's his nickname now. He's Blueberry. Okay. We're kind of at we're at the 2.5 hours mark. Should we leave it here? Are we gonna jump into something spicy in the beginning of next stream again? I feel like it's enough for one night. Sounds good. Okay. A lot happened. Yeah, a lot indeed. A lot indeed. Yeah, okay, so we leave it like that. It's good enough. Yeah. I think it's for the best. It's for the best. Yeah, so here we are. Looking back, does this turn of events make more or less sense? It does make sense. I actually did wonder about it when they mentioned his brother in the letter last time. I had forgotten that he was mentioned in the past. Like, I guess maybe it was just like in passing or something, or it was in between a whole bunch of other things happening, and it didn't fully register to me. I guess also because I didn't have a clear picture of exactly what was happening or had happened with his family. So when they just feed us like puzzle pieces here and there that don't yet fit together, it's hard for me to hold on to each puzzle piece, you know, unless I connected to something or connected them among them. I lose a lot of details on the way. I kind of like I don't store them in my memory, I suppose. I'm really sorry about that. I'm really bad at it. So yeah, I had completely like forgotten about any mention of siblings. I had remembered most things about like his mom, because she was a more prominent figure in the flashbacks. I had remembered some things about his dad, and they didn't yet all fit together. So I guess the letter did it, and I did wonder about the brother. What happened with the brother, right? Because like we eventually don't get to figure that out from the letter. We know about the sister that she died. And then today when they mentioned that like he died in a bombing, but we didn't get a single scrap of him back, I was like, okay, that is sus. That is instant question mark. What is that? And I also feel like, was it mentioned at some point that Maou, was he described as a person in his early 20s or like in his 20s, something like that? I have the feeling that there was something that was said at some point, and it did make me wonder. But at the same time, I also thought maybe it was just like, you know, an overall impression of how he looked from the outside. So I questioned it, and at the same time didn't fully, like, I don't know. I went along mostly with what the novel was trying to do. Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of mean points in the VN, like when Kanon is in the shower at Kyosuke's and it cuts to Maou, who mentions a woman. Yeah, there's a lot of points like that, you know? Because in the beginning, I felt like the novel was suggesting that it was them. That it was him. And then there is that scene with Shiratori that kind of like I felt like that was what it was trying to do, to confirm, right? Because it's Maou that she sees, or the novel makes us think that it's Maou that she sees, and she calls him Kyosuke. So I actually would need to go back to remember the details of it and figure it out, but that felt to be... Shiratori's part is a bit too far from me. So it was Maou that she saw on the street, and she took him as Kyosuke. And I mean, the one thing that I could imagine there is that they're brothers, so they look similar. But I mean, 10 years of difference in age should be more apparent than that, right? Because when he was mentioned again, like the brother last time, I was wondering what's the difference in age, right? And if they were close in age, then my mind was actually going there that there might be something there, right? But 10 years, yeah. It's just that they're similar. Yeah, okay. It was at night and such. Yeah, exactly, that too. The VN does make it confusing on purpose, yeah. And it does want you to think that. And there's like all of this like headache kind of thing. It's happening at like all of these convenient moments when we switch to Maou and stuff. There was also some moments during, I think especially, when was it? It just feels like sometimes he was teleporting very fast from one place to another, right? I had that sensation. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, maybe it's either I should suspend my disbelief and not nitpick it too much, or I just don't have a good grasp of how big the town is and how easy it is to go from one place to another, because unless you actually draw me an actual map from text descriptions, it's hard for me to piece things together spatially in my head. So I was like kind of orbiting in between these two thoughts. Yeah. I did say at some point, did I say it out loud or did I say it in a comment somewhere? I did think it, that like, okay, I'm gonna go along with what the novel is suggesting, but I'll still keep like a seed of like open mind toward like it not actually being that, you know. So yeah, here we are. Interesting. Curious to see where this goes. But at the same time, him not being Maou does not mean he has not actually done some very questionable things that I cannot easily go past, like I mentioned tonight. So he would really need to do a little bit more to fully redeem himself in my eyes. Usami has really low standards because apparently she has always been in love with him. So I can understand her from that perspective, but I don't. So yeah. And there's been so many moments when he's described her and some of the other girls as disgusting, and like he's had like some really awful thoughts about them, and it was him 100%. So yeah. With the shower scene, when it cuts to Maou, it's Yuki who's in the shower, but it's before she's introduced. Okay, I see. Okay, I never would have pieced that together. I never would have figured that out. Got it, okay. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay. Curious to see where this goes. This has definitely made things a lot more interesting. I'm still confused as to what Gonzo's fate has been. Let's put a question mark pin on that as well. Maybe there will be a twist about it later on too. Because it's just... I don't know if I can accept it, at least not at the moment, at least not with like more confirmation from some other source, because it felt like too easy. Oh, he just got out of the car and he knew exactly where he would be shot from and he just allowed himself to be killed. Like, that doesn't seem like him at all. Oh yeah, of course, the story has an end, so we're gonna see it through, whatever that's gonna be. Alright. Okay. This has been something. Oh jeez. Sorry that I decided to lurk in the shadows today. It without going into too much detail and boring you, let's just say sometimes these days it's not very comfortable to exist in my body, and today has been a particularly uncomfortable day. And yeah, I decided to, instead of getting ready for stream, to just lie down in bed for a bit longer. So yeah. Hope that wasn't too disappointing, but I will be here also visually next time, I promise. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for joining and being on this wild ride. Yeah, it's just some days are better than others. Today wasn't a very high point. Hopefully with a bit more rest it's gonna go away. And yeah. Nothing is too serious. It's just what it is. When you're heavily pregnant, sometimes it's like that. Okay, then take care. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of you for sharing this wild ride with me. Have a nice weekend. Relax, enjoy. Eat the good food, hydrate. Hopefully you're getting some nice weather. It's starting to get nice here too. Today unfortunately was cloudy, but spring is definitely settling in and winter's going away. So that's nice. Yeah. Enjoy. Take care and see you on Monday. Night night.